Hey guys, it's Dave Canfield, your creature feature preacher here at Fantastic Fest 2025, talking to Owen Egerton and Corin Hardy. And I am very, very excited about their new movie, Whistle, which I'm going to see very, very shortly. It is rife with all sorts of mythic portent and cultural stuff, and we're going to talk about all of it. So, thanks for coming along for the ride, and we will talk to you. Actually, no, you guys are going to talk to them. Okay, that sounds good. All right. Um, yes, there you go.
Is that on?
You
Are
should
we
be
good?
good. Um, your stuff is always very rife with uh mysticism and myth, and you twist myths and you create myths around things.
I don't know.
Um,
Just be or just do it.
were you nervous at all about doing something that was sort of fits into concerns about colonization and things like that?
Oh, well, it's a good question for sure. It's something the myth behind the whistle uh, is pretty in our stories like pretty mysterious,
Mm.
which is actually very true of death whistles across Mesoamerica. That we don't know what they were used for. We don't know what they how they fit into their culture. But in our story, we also reference that the idea is like that these are often treasures stolen,
Yeah.
plundered from an oppressed people.
Mm.
So that taps into it. But I don't know if that's necessarily the heart of what we were going for in
Yeah.
this one.
Yeah.
I guess it's referred to as an object that was taken in a way
Yeah.
it shouldn't have been, and it's now in a very different environment, and it's used by people who don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
So we don't go much deeper than that, but we do allude to this being a very ancient object with a lot of dangerous power to it, and something which no one really understands.
Yeah, the idea that you can just sort of bury another culture, right? And move on and build your own thing. And then, of course, the only way to undo what you've done, the only way to I don't know, repent of it or whatever, is to go ahead and start giving things back to people. And
Yeah.
we aren't very good at that. People aren't very good at that.
I
That's
think it's also in human nature to be curious, and in horror movies for people to do something they really shouldn't do, whether that's, stay in an old abandoned cabin in the woods
yeah,
or try and work out a configuration box. And in this case, they shouldn't really blow this whistle, but they just can't stop themselves because if you see it, you can see it just here. It's very kind of enticing. It holds a lot of mystery. It pulls you into, so you really find yourself, I guess, a little bit like Frodo in the Ring. You're sort of like, I really want to know what this sounds like.
Yeah.
yeah. And of course, recently they were like reconstructing voice boxes of dead people based on mummified remains and stuff. So it's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's weird to
There's
think of that, the past coming back into the present
yeah.
in that way. So, are you, first of all, in designing this thing,
Mm.
is it designed after any particular artifact?
Yeah. So when I read the script, I had never heard of a death whistle, and yet I sort of thought this is a great. Well, Owen's created an amazing idea here with cursed objects. Then when I googled it, I was like amazed to find out that it was based on a real object, an ancient art object. But like we said, there's so many sort of mixed beliefs of what they may or may not have been used for and why. But you could also see evidence of them. So it was a real, as a visual filmmaker, the idea to create a sort of leading character in the movie in this object, in the same way that something like Annabelle will be the lead character in Annabelle, but she just sits still for the movie.
Right.
But she's always kind of got a presence. Yeah, watch out. There might be something lurking in that corner over there. um, it was great to be able to look at evidence of death whistles. Some of them look like they've been carved in bone. Some of them are more like stone or ceramic. Use them as a foundation, and then create something with my designer, who we went through maybe 50 looks, and we're able to really hone. I want it to have a lot of history, a lot of suggestion, a lot of different languages that have been carved into it over time. So if you look at it, you can see I wanted something very detailed that would be able to hold up in a very close up. You'll see it on the cinema screen, taking up half the screen, like a close up of a human. And it has different sort of expressions and attitudes throughout the movie, because it is kind of there bringing on what happens to these unlucky people.
Well, yeah. Do you have something?
Oh, I was going to say, the design, I love it. And one of the things that we talk about in the film are those objects that are designed to remind us of mortality.
Yeah.
Throughout different cultures, and I know you're aware of those. Like every different culture around the world has these, everything from the skeletons we have at Halloween to medieval paintings that they would cover their walls with, to every culture of different mementos to remind themselves, oh, I'm going to die one day. And that art tradition fascinates both of us. I think it's just something very beautiful and enticing and strange and frightening all in one.
And you said it, mementos. It's memento mori. Memento mori translates as remember that you will die.
Yes.
Which it can take on two meanings. One can be quite sad and desperate of sort of, but the other one, which has been inspiring me really whilst making this movie to consider, is the positive version, which is remember that you're going to die. So do what you can with your life and enjoy it. Live every day like it's your last. That is kind of the film's message ultimately, within the horror and the fun of what happens in Whistle, is this sort of, I don't know, would you call it a sort of subversive positive message about living your life to the fullest?
Oh, I had a widowmaker heart attack in August of 24, and
No, dude.
So I have the Fantastic Fest crud, but yeah, there's something about, the thing that I lost in the middle of that was FOMO. I wasn't afraid to die.
Yeah.
I didn't have any like visions of golden streets or anything like that. It was just more like, oh, okay, well, what's next? And there's this feeling of the moment and connecting with people in the moment that we've really lost in our culture. And
100%.
and if we're full of our anxiety about death, and we don't resolve it, it doesn't lead us into good places.
And just fear generally in life. I mean, of where we're at with everything, and the amount of fear being pumped into everyone's lives through, whether it's being online or on the news or whatever. It's like trying to remember that we are just humans on the planet for a relatively short space of time. Be kind, be decent, live your life, and try and have a decent time together. And in our film, that is what's trying to happen, but there happens to be this curse, you could say, that has been brought on, and death is coming early.
Well, but it's all, the funny thing, of course, is there's an irony in that we all want to take the thrill ride.
Yes.
We all want to watch the movie. We all want to collect the stuff. First thing I said when I walked in is, I'm taking that whistle with me, when I leave, because it's cool. But at the end of the day, you can't see all the movies. You can't collect all the stuff, tell all the stories. You are here, you're born, you live for a little while, and then you die, and we negotiate what we think happens with that.
I think, you nail it. There's so much more to being alive than not being dead.
Yeah.
And for me, when I was a kid, like, I remember watching the first time I watched Halloween 4, one of my very favorite movies.
Yeah.
And I watched it in a friend's, upstairs in the garage, crappy couch watching it. But what I remember thinking about it is like, oh, I remember sort of thinking, well, that person's going to be okay because they're kind of nice, or she's going to be okay because she's smart. And it didn't matter if you were smart or good or nice. Michael still got you.
Shape don't care.
Shape don't care. And if he doesn't get you in 4, he'll get you in 5. And for me, it was like a reminder of like, oh, I'm gonna die.
Yeah.
And that means I better start living. And this is a bit of a Fantastic Fest specific thing, but we did the Fantastic Fest debates, and I know you've seen the debates, and
That was insane, insanity.
at the end, I don't know if you were here list.
No, what was the debate this year, and who beat the hell out of who?
It was a little different. It was my debate subject was human craft versus AI.
Okay.
This is something I can feel very passionate about, having sort of spent my whole life training to be an artist and making films and doing everything kind of handmade to some extent. There wasn't boxing this year. It was a little different.
Oh.
It was medieval knights, fully armored up, going absolutely ballistically against each other. It's actually way more brutal.
Awesome.
But also to help finish the debate. My main theme of it was what we've been talking about. Like, human beings deserve to feel alive at all times. AI isn't helping that very much, I don't think. So yes, and well, I can't remember what you're going to say.
Well,
Yeah.
you're right. Well, you're moving right into it. So Corin had this idea. Corin's a pretty damn talented jack-o'-lantern carver. So for the the final part of his argument against Austin King, they had a 1 minute to carve a jack-o'-lantern. And now, if you're told you have 1 minute to create something that has art, face, and light beaming out of it,
Wow.
A soul, pumpkin soul.
like as soon as the timer starts, there's an easy reaction to go, oh, not enough time, and no, wait, I've got to think, and wait, I'm concentrating on the fact that I only have a minute, only have 40 seconds, only have 30 seconds, and if you do that, you never get to create the face or the light within it.
Right.
So instead, what Corin did in less than a minute was he carved this wildly cool jack-o'-lantern, and then we turned out all the lights, and he's holding it above his head, and there's this shining piece of art that was made in 1 minute, because you only have that flame, you only have that 60 seconds, you only have this one chance. So be aware that it's brief, but don't be focused on its brief. Instead, be right there making a face that's going to glow in the dark.
What's funny, great artists ship, but also great artists just do the thing.
Yeah.
You got to just do the thing, whatever the thing is, just not be constantly terrified that you're going to screw it up.
That's super poetic, beautifully worded, and generous of Owen. And it does kind of, in a non-pretentious way, why I love carving jack-o'-lanterns is it's a little mantra moment of taking a knife in my hand, carving a piece of fruit or vegetable, depending on which one you think, and making something that when you light, preferably with a real flame, you do capture the soul of something right there. If anyone this Halloween, who hasn't carved a jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, when you light that candle, for me, it's like a ritual. You turn all the lights out and you see it for the first time, and that's kind of what I wanted to achieve the other day, and at a very fast pace. You can see the pumpkin downstairs, just out down there.
Yeah,
it's far from a work of art. It's a very rushed, 48-second pumpkin, but it settled the debate.
It's awesome. I was looking at it earlier.
The idea was that can AI capture the soul of something like that? Anyway, that's where we got to.
Do you see yourself continuing to work in these themes, and are you two going to continue to work together?
Hell
yeah.
That's it.
Oh, and I think you're like me. Once you're in the door, you're not going. You're not going. It's not going to happen.
I'm in the door. But what's great though, we've come together in a way that you just don't know. There's a lot of humans out there, but we met through making this movie, and it feels like we've known each other for 100 years in another life, maybe.
Are we going to see another Nun movie?
I'm sure there'll be one because they do very well, but I don't expect it will be from me.
Okay.
With all lovely respect.
I like the Nun movies, by the way, a lot.
No, exactly, and they're fantastic. They're doing great.
And Owen, what do you have in the fire for anything?
I'm working on a few more scripts that I'm really, really excited about. A lot of them dealing with the stuff that you love, religion, and stuff like that. And I'm actually adapting 2 of my novels right now.
Do you want to do a Zoom sometime?
Sure, I'd love that.
I'd love that.
Yeah.
We could do a Zoom, and we could talk about this stuff. I'm trying to find ways to do it in in very non-confrontational, like very, inviting, just,
Yeah, let get it all. There's a lot of great conversations to be had.
all right.
Yeah.
Um, I was going to ask you, no, that's no good. I can't ask that. I could, no, that's not good. I can't wait to see this movie.
See it. Are you going to be around on Thursday night?
Yeah, I am. And that's what's so neat is knowing that it's the closing night.
What an
And
honor.
what?
An honor.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for you because people really venerate that last screening um, in their hearts. And when you become part of a community like this, it's wonderful to have those moments in the spotlight, but it's easily wonderful to be able to just be part of the community. Like Cargill is really, really good at that, or Scott,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know.
I think Cargill did say the other day in a little text message, "Welcome to the family," and I thought, I've made it in Fantastic Fest.
I love that guy. He is just
Yeah.
the best.
Yeah, I know
Thank,
it's a great place.
thank you so much. All right.
Thank you. Death lives. Death lives.
All right. And